In fact, the French philosopher Pascal, I like this very much, he once said, all of men's difficulties, I mean those days they used to say men anyway, they also mean women, all of men's difficulties are caused by his inability to sit quietly in a room by himself. You understand? All of his men's difficulties are caused by his inability to sit quiet in a room by himself. Trouble with us in the modern world, we do too much. We speak far too much. We think too much. And we don't have time also. In fact, sometimes I think it's very interesting in the modern world that, sign of success is that I'm very busy. I'm busy, I don't have time, I'm always, Actually, it's not success, it's failure. Real success is if you have leisure. Most important is you have time for yourself and spend well. And what we've done, we're doing, but we've forgotten how to be with ourselves. And we've lost the sense of being. In fact, I always tell my students, we are scattered everywhere and nobody's at home. We miss ourselves. We always look externally for all stimulations, But to remain with ourselves alone, you become lonely, you fill your life. You see, there are two things, loneliness and aloneness. Aloneness is like the solitude that is wonderful, that great meditators, yogis, hermits have that, which brings such profound peace, that aloneness. That we have not found, we've not come to terms with ourselves. In fact, I always say, you see, I told people, if you're afraid of dying, I tell them, don't worry, you will all die successfully. So then, why are we afraid of dying? Because when you die, that's the moment of truth. We need to face ourselves. Fear of death is not looking at us. That's why among the Christian contemplatives, there's a memento mori. Remember that you have to die. If you remember that we must die, we might then realize what life is. In fact, death is like a mirror in which the true meaning of life is reflected. Death is one of the greatest teachers. In fact, in the Christianity and Buddhist contemplative monks, one of the most important focal point practitioners is about meditating on impermanence and death. In fact, meditating on impermanence or death is like similar to meditating on God. So meditation is bringing the mind home. Meditation is the process of coming to know one's mind. In fact, there are so many meditations these days. But on a deeper level, meditation is coming to know one's nature of mind. On a beginning level, the essence of meditation is the state of non-distraction. And at the beginning, meditation is about stabilizing mind through the practice. You see, meditation is good for stabilizing because in the unstable world, stability it can bring. See, the most important thing is to be open. Okay, can you try to now sit a little bit, practice with me, if you wish. Most important, be spacious. Body, a great master, body on your seat, mind your body, body in relaxation. To be open, spacious. In fact, the main point, ultimate point, is to go beyond the ordinary mind into the state of transcendence, into the skylark nature mind. The amazing thing is, while still being in this world, we can elevate our mind to that state where we can see things, view things, with our awareness in a very special way, when we have the awareness of awareness, that even when we have anger, even negative emotions come, if we have the awareness of awareness, anger can rise, but we will not act. You understand? I think the main thing I wanted to share with you is that main thing is to bring your mind to a different level. In fact, drop your mind. Trouble with us, we don't leave mind alone. We're always thinking. Leave your mind alone. It's a bit like people who know how to... I don't know how to ride a bicycle, so I'm fascinated with people who know how to ride a bicycle. People know how to ride bicycles. I've tried to ride. I fell down many times. Now don't even try. I passed it. But now, whereas those people who know how to ride bicycle, moment they get on the bicycle, they don't have to think about the balance, isn't it? They have the balance in them. That's the thing. Main thing of meditation is the balance of the mind. The equipoise. It's called nyamya in Tibetan. Equipoise. Khyentse Rinpoche always used to say, leave your mind unaltered in the state of equipoise. Equipoise. Where you leave your mind unaltered, meaning without any manipulation or contrivance. Live in its own natural state. More and more you leave your mind in natural state, more and more it becomes more natural. More and more you arrive at the ultimate nature. More and more your mind becomes purified. And as more and more your mind gets purified, it affects your being also. The way your mind is, or when you really, the whole point of the thing is not about just meditating when you meditate on your cushion, but in everyday life. Integration. You need to impact on everyday life, the way you are. As I drink this is meditation. In fact, it is said that as long as you're not distracted, you're mindful and aware, then whatever you do is meditation. Great Master said. In fact, there's a famous story about Zen Master, When the student asked him, Master, how do you practice enlightenment everyday life? The Master said, by eating and by sleeping. The student said, but Master, everybody sleeps, everybody eats. Whereupon the Master said, but everybody doesn't eat when they eat. Everybody doesn't sleep when they sleep. From there, famous Zen saying comes, I eat when I eat. I sleep when I sleep. You're completely in the action, 100%. That's it? And almost like 100% there, but without I. Without the ego, without the grasping. Just pure action, pure being, pure eating, pure drinking. Not XXX. Pure, whatever you do. Even when you do movements, meditation. Everything. Sogyal Rinpoche used to say, leave the seeing in the seeing, leave the hearing in the hearing, leave the thinking in the thinking. Leave them in its natural state. In the spacious. When you remain that, what happens? Then something deep thing happens. It's like you go beyond the clouds, reach the sky like nature mind, and out of that shines forth this extraordinary sun with the tremendous light of wisdom and the warmth of love and compassion. Deep within, from that, the love and compassion goes. More and more integrate in that, in your, not only your meditation, but in everyday life, in every action. That's why the great Master said, never separate everyday life with your meditation. Trouble is, if you separate every day with your meditation, you just say, when I practice, then what happens? I'm practicing, you start to practice, and then like from upstairs, your neighbor or your wife or somebody flushes the toilet, and you can scream saying, I'm meditating, can you keep quiet? And then, you become very tense about it. You separate. But whereas if you just take it as just every day, then whatever, even flushing is meditation. Even noise is meditation. When the noise comes, that becomes the object of meditation. Every thought becomes meditation. When you use thought as meditation, what happens? Thought. It's like when you use thought as meditation, it's like the best experience is that moment you watch thought as your meditation, the thought dissolves. That's the best experience. The next best is that if you watch your thoughts as a meditation, you meditate on thoughts, what happens? Suddenly, it's like watching a movie or a television. When you watch a movie television, there are a lot of things going on the screen, but you're not in the movie. Isn't it? It's like when you start watching meditation that you be a little bit separated from your thought. That brings that space. The word need is space, inner freedom. Clear? And very much integrating that in everyday life. In fact, more and more when you practice, what happens? The grasping dissolves. Grasping mind dissolves. It's like, that you can still think, perceive things. They're no longer grasping, enter into the perception. It's a bit like, I use the example of, a non-stick pans. You fry egg, you think it doesn't stick. It's like your mind becomes non-stick. You can view all kinds of things, but they no longer stick. There's a space between you. And you begin to see things as more like illusory as you realize more. So in the meditation, there are two kinds of meditations. In Tibetan and Buddhism, the first meditation, it's called shamatha and vipassana. Shamatha is the first. Shamatha is kind of practice of calm abiding. It's mainly a practice of mindfulness, awareness. There are two kinds of shamathas. Shamatha with support and with an object, like focusing on the breath on the image, even thought, because Buddha realized that the root of our cause of our problem is distraction. So the antidote to distraction is mindfulness. They taught the practice of mindfulness. Like when you have the mindfulness practice, focus on the breath, for example. I use very much the image of Guru Rinpoche, looks like me. You don't put 100% on concentrate, because if you do 100% on mindfulness, then for example, there's Buddha's main disciple called Ananda. He had a disciple called Shona. He started meditating, he concentrated too much, he got a headache. Then he was told to relax, he relaxed too much, fell asleep. So when he was brought to Buddha, asked for advice, Buddha said, well, he was a musician. He said, he was a veena player. He said, what kind of string, what kind of thing brought the best sound? Then he said, neither too taut nor too loose. Same with mind. You understand? So therefore when you meditate, only 15% focus on the mindfulness, on the breath. Very much spaciously. And then another 15% on awareness. Because if there's no awareness or vigilance, because you may be mindful, but you just fallen asleep, you may be daydreaming, you don't know. So there 15% is an awareness that oversees whether you're mindful or whether you're practicing or not. Keeps a check, a guard. But then left with 50%. 50% is left abiding spaciously. As the great Zen master Suzuki Roshi said, the way to control cow or sheep is to give a big grazing field. So you give your mind space, 50% abiding spaciously with 15% mindfulness and 15% awareness. And as you go, continue to practice. The whole point of this meditation first is to overcome distraction. You understand? Bring mind together, bring stability. Meditation is very good for bringing stability. If you practice regularly, it will bring more stability in your mind. In fact, bring stability, as in one of the teachings, Old Dharamaki said, it strengthens your mind so that your mind becomes more conducive to virtue. Then the main thing is after a little while, what happens that you see then distractions, like the mind becomes more, distraction dissolve. The whole point of the essence of this meditation is the state of non-distraction. When you're able to remain in the state of non-distraction, then you don't have to focus on the breath. You understand? Or focus on the object, because that's only a skillful means. Once you're able to arrive at the state of non-distraction, then meditation is called shamatha without support. You're free of the objects, free of the technique. Instead, you remain in the state of non-distraction while you're mindful and aware, and then whatever you do is meditation. You got it? Whatever. That's the best meditation. Every day, whatever you do is meditation. But you have to be in a state of non-distraction. And it's good to do that. Before beginning that, you need to do a formal practice, because then that will bring your mind to the state of non-distraction. Then every day, what you do is you remain while not being distracted, remain in the state of that non-distraction. Then whatever you do while walking, while sleeping, while walking, becomes meditation. Is that clear? I thought that would be helpful. But then, as you continue to do this practice called karma bhajani, as you begin to do slowly, the grasping tendencies begin to dissolve. Because the root cause of all our suffering is grasping. Grasping especially at the false view of yourself, which is the ego. Ego is the root of all our suffering. Hence, therefore, remedy is thinking of others, cherishing others, instead of cherishing yourself. Then finally, also through the remedy of realizing both self and all phenomena are empty of nature, then you become free and be liberated. That's what I'm going to whole Buddhist path of, Then as your mind becomes free of grasping, then as your mind becomes free of grasping, then you arrive at what is called begin of the glimpse of the vipassana, where you reach where there is no grasping, enter into perception. That's the kind of what is called dhamme to bhishara, the wisdom that realizes the egolessness. It gradually dawns, and then from this, the mind is therefore purified, and we are deeper inside. Then you slowly, then you come to the nature mind. From there to the nature mind. Samatha, vipassana, and the nature mind. These are actually very, very precious teachings I'm sharing with you.